is Adam Schefter?
Adam Schefter.
Adam Schefter.
Adam Schefter in here.
And where did he come from?
This is all. Adam's on the phone.
Okay.
We'll talk to him. That's how good he is. That's how good he is.
Who are his sources? And ultimately, how did he become the #1 NFL insider?
Oh, Laura, we have breaking news right now.
Let's find out. Born 1966, raised on the South Shore of Long Island, New York, Adam Schefter would grow up loving sports and would develop a passion for journalism at an early age. He would soon be accepted to the University of Michigan, where he would get his degree in journalism. While at Michigan, Adam would attempt to rush a fraternity, become a team assistant for football and basketball, but would be denied by all three.
I can tell you for a fact that had I gotten into the fraternity, had I gotten a job with the football team, had I gotten a job with the basketball team, I never would have gone down to the student newspaper to start writing about sports. It wouldn't have happened.
Eventually, he would find something to pour himself into, the local newspaper, the Michigan Daily. By the time he graduated, he had served as the paper's managing sports editor and covered Michigan hockey, men's basketball, and football for the Daily. Realizing journalism was a viable career path, he would move to Chicago to pursue and receive his master's degree at Northwestern University while working as a freelance reporter for the Chicago Tribune.
I never graduated from Medill. Get an internship, and they want me to start as soon as possible. So I made plans to get out there as soon as I could. And that was before everybody returned from Washington to get back to Evanston to go through graduation. So while all my friends from Washington, D.C. came back here to graduate, I went from Washington, D.C. to Seattle, Washington to start an internship.
Making the decision to miss his graduation, Adam would move to Denver in 1990 to take a writing job for the Rocky Mountain News and the Denver Post, where he would eventually have the opportunity of becoming the Denver Broncos beat reporter. This is where Adam would begin his insider career. Longtime Broncos coach Mike Shanahan said he liked to talk to Schefter because Schefter already knew everything. People thought Shanahan told Adam everything, but in actuality, he did his homework. He talked to everybody and would even tell Shanahan about sleepers in the NFL draft. Schefter once reported a signing so quickly, it prompted Shanahan to ask him how he knew, and Schefter answered, "Everybody has an agent."
And so I was at training camp with the Broncos when they used to go away for like 3-4 weeks. I was sleeping in the dorm up there. I didn't have a family. Like that job was my family. I was having every meal with them. I was in the locker room every day when there was unlimited lock. I could go in the building anywhere I wanted. I would go up to the owner's office and sit with him. You know, I'd walk down to the head coaches. Like literally, I felt like I had, I don't want to say free reign of the building because that would not be accurate. But over time, I built up enough relationships that was like my office.
While working as a beat reporter, on the weekends, Adam volunteered to be a guest on a local Saturday sports show called Broncos Beat. He literally only did the show because he was new to the city and knew no one and had nothing to do. But little did Adam know over that 16-year span, that valuable TV experience would lead him to his next career.
Well, Fred, I think there are a couple of key elements to remember here. Number one, the Green Bay Packers imposed a Wednesday night deadline on the New York Jets to get a trade done by.
So, in 2004, Adam would make the jump and join the NFL Network and soon become one of their main reporters and analysts. He would show up on shows like NFL Total Access while also writing for NFL.com and establishing more relationships and connections throughout the league like Jerry Jones and Bill Belichick. However, despite loving the 5 years he spent at the NFL Network, his contractual situation would come to a disappointing end.
And then my contract is coming up. I wanted to stay there, extend the deal, and they made me what was an unfair take it or leave it offer. And I was crushed again, just like I was when I didn't get to the fraternity, just like it was when I didn't get a contract that was fair and just.
According to Adam, despite not having a negotiation, they just made an offer that at the time he didn't think was fair. So, another network who recognized Adam's on-screen talent would make a better offer. Interestingly enough, the NFL Network wouldn't let him out of his contract. Instead, they kept him off air for 6 months, locked him out of his office, and legit wiped all his contacts and sources from his phone. Before he could break any news on the new job, he had to rebuild his contacts. Despite the setback, in 2009, he moved to ESPN as a football analyst, and the rest is history.
We welcome in on his first day on the job, no less, ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter joins us. Adam, welcome.
Great to be here, Cindy.
Adam Schefter.
Adam Schefter.
Adam Schefter in here. Adam, interesting there.
This is all. Adam's on the phone.
Okay.
We'll talk about it. That's how good he is. That's how good he is.
Beautiful. And Laura, we have breaking news right now. Breaking news. Charges and firing $500,000. Now, Robert Kraft has categorically denied his involvement.
Adam will quickly become one of the top sports reporters in the country and widely be known for his tenacity, accuracy, and knack for breaking news. He will build back up a vast network of sources within the NFL, including players, agents, team executives, and league officials. He would maintain close relationships with sources, allowing him to have access to exclusive information. He also protects their identity, which is why we just don't know who they are. His influence would start to extend to Twitter, where he would eventually become one of the most followed sports journalists in the world. Twitter will become an extension of his ESPN job, a timestamp of who actually got the scoop first. However, trying to be the first has sometimes been Adam's downfall.
There are few things in life more satisfying than getting a big story. It's like a drug. You become addicted to it.
He's faced many criticisms, like sending the unpublished story to the former Washington football team president, Bruce Allen, for review before submitting it to his editors, while calling Bruce Mr. Editor.
Is that real journalism?
What is your main issue with how Schefter went about this?
Well, I think my main issue is sending an unpublished draft to the president of an NFL team and then putting out a piece which you are purporting is objective and accurate when if the final editing responsibilities were given to someone who has skin in the game, those things are at odds.
I will say this, he's very good. He's been doing this a long time. I have my job because of the job that he basically created. And sometimes he beats me on stories, which is very annoying.
Well, that's because he's letting people just write his entire article.
I'm joking. He's very good.
I know.
A month later, he reported that Minnesota Vikings running back Dalvin Cook was accusing a woman of DV without relaying the full context of a complicated situation, including that the woman was actually suing Cook, alleging he was abusive. Then there's the whole Deshaun Watson tweet and the Dwayne Haskins tweet that we really don't have to get into here, but
here is what it read in part. Dwayne Haskins, a standout at Ohio State before struggling to catch on with Washington and Pittsburgh in the NFL, died this morning when he got hit by a car in South Florida. I'm going to stop right there. A 24-year-old man with his entire life ahead of him has tragically lost his life, and Adam Schefter chose to speak of his, quote, struggles. It's disgraceful. As journalists, especially in news, we often have to report on death. But may we never be so cold to forget that the person we are talking about was a son or a daughter, a friend or a neighbor, someone who was loved and who is being mourned. To Adam Schefter, do better. The next time you have to tell the world that someone has lost their life, may you do it with grace and humility.
Since then, Adam has been quoted saying that he's learned a lot from those situations and came to the conclusion that it's okay not to be first. Lean on his editors more, and when there's sensitive information, take a pause to take a beat. Despite these controversies, Schefter has also shown his compassionate and generous side, especially in his book, The Man I Never Met. The book is a tribute to Joe Mayo, his wife's first husband, who died in the 9/11 attacks. Schefter shares the story of how he met Sherry, a widow with a young son, and how they fell in love and formed a new family.
What is it like for you as a husband to have your current wife's first husband such a big part of your life?
It never leaves. When Good Morning America asked my wife to assemble some pictures and videos to send in on that piece that you just saw, walked into the den and she's watching videos of their wedding. And it's powerful. And next week is 9/11. And my wife said to me last night, I want to make sure that we're home for the reading of the names so that she's there to hear the name Joseph Mayo called on the morning of 9/11. So it's just always there. And those are our circumstances. Everybody's got different circumstances. And Joe is that fifth member of our family. His pictures are in our home. His memory is always there. And we've never forgotten him and never will.
Schefter's book is a touching and inspiring memoir that shows his vulnerability, humility, and humanity. He's also involved in a variety of philanthropic work, like the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, which acts to raise funds and awareness for diabetes. He's also helped raise $1.2 million for Parker Dickerson, the son of the late ESPN reporter Jeff Dickerson, who lost his battle with colon cancer 2 years after his wife, Caitlin, died from complications of melanoma. Adam Schefter is a man who lives and breathes the NFL. He is a journalist who has dedicated his life to covering the sport he loves and providing fans with the information they crave. He is a reporter who has earned the trust and respect of his sources and his peers. He's an insider who has broken countless stories that influence the NFL landscape. He is also a human being who has faced challenges and controversies in his personal and professional life. He is a husband who has loved and honored his wife and her late husband. He is a father who has embraced and raised his children. He is a friend who has supported and helped many people in need. He is Adam Schefter, the man in front of the story.